people of the internet, my name is Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. Today I am having a man in the studio, a man that is very much revered and has been helping a lot of people around the world, around Kenya. Benjamin Zulu, and then there is a word there, global. What does the word global mean, Mr.
Just worldwide, yeah, but my name is Benjamin Zulu.
Benjamin Zulu, because, when I started, hearing about you, I thought you were actually South African.
Yes. I think we are Bantu. Africa, we are meant to be one country. We were just separated by foreigners.
Okay.
It's just a Bantu name. The Zulus are Bantus. I am Bantu. Originally, that's my dad's name.
Okay.
But at home, it will have an N. But then you tweak it for your branding.
Zulun.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very, very nice. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good, man.
I want to ask you a question. Psychologically, where is the world going? Are humans becoming better people? Or are humans even struggling more in this day and age?
Psychologically, the West is getting better. Psychologically, Africa is only waking up. We are only now beginning to embrace psychology, and even now we still shame mental health institutions. So we sympathize if Jagero has a fever, but you don't sympathize if he has depression. If he has a body illness, we feel sorry. If he has a mental illness, we say he's crazy. We don't even sympathize. We don't say I've been to a psychologist. We say I've been to a dentist. That's normal. So we appreciate physical wellness. We don't appreciate mental and psychological wellness. If somebody says they have anxiety, if somebody says they are grieving the loss of their loved one, or they have a heartbreak, we just say, Lia ukiendaka kama ambulance. We dismiss psychological realities. We dismiss a child who needed attachment with their dad. The dad lives very far away to have a double life. Then mother is the one left to the children. So children grow without having any conversation with their dad. So Jagero calls the dad here, and they have nothing to talk except kumenyesha. Kura mmepiga. But akipigia mami, a lot of stories. Because there's a connection and bonding. We don't teach those things like attachment, bonding, relationship. Those are psychological realities that are emotional and real for a child and for all of us. You always have your inner child. That's the software you use in this world. How you see people is mainly influenced by how you grew to know them. Yes, you can always heal and change, but the healing and change is slow. It's better the earlier programming. So yes, Africa is only, and I'm happy people like you are throwing in another voice into the conversation. We have been very lonely, we the psychologists. We look like we are talking from a corner. So I'm happy people like you are throwing it out here.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a question that has been lingering in my mind.
Yes.
And I have been binge watching on a podcast called So This Is Love.
Yes.
By a lady called Julia.
Yes.
Gaido.
Yes.
That the podcast has got some very horror stories in there. There is a pattern though that I see. That people are continuously starting those relationships on a wrong note. And even when they are talking with Jules Gaido, they are not actually cognizant of the fact that this thing started on a very, very wrong
Perfect
note.
summary.
I
love it.
Yeah. So why? And you see, when I keep listening to those podcasts, my mind goes to my daughter, who is 10 years in January, and I'm just wondering, how do I prepare my child for this eventuality? Because I see girls who go and meet men in college. Sometimes they approach these men for whatever reason. Sometimes these men approach them. These relationships start very wrongly. And they stick to them for 7-10 years later. And when they get out of those relationships, they are a shell of themselves. They have got no teeth. They have got sometimes no ribs. Their sexuality has completely been assaulted. Take me back to the psychology of a child and how a child, one, can grow up in a way that they have they are no footing in decision making. Because I feel like what is happening here in these stories is the inability to make decisions, inability to reason. And I feel like they are not, because I think that when you are trying to reason, you are picking from something that you were told, what you learned. If you are in school, you learned agriculture. If you're going to plant, you are throwing yourself back to what you learned.
True.
So my question is twofold. How does a child grow without learning? To the effect that when it comes to making decisions, they cannot make these decisions. And how does the child grow up so that when that time comes, you can see that I see the bullshit in this man, and this is not a man that I want to live my life with. Yeah.
I'll ask follow-up questions. Do you live under the same roof with your daughter?
Yes,
That's
I do.
step number one.
Yes.
Are you friends with the mother? That's
Yes.
step number two. Before you interact with the child directly, you just create the environment. The child absorbs more than they observe. They take in energy, the happiness in that house. How you hug the mother, how you greet, how you reason about life, how they see you happy. That becomes the normal about marriage and men to her. And at 10, she's absorbing at a very rapid rate. Soon you will be excommunicated from her inside life. After a while, the other teenage peers take a lot of importance. But right now, the first 10 years of life, you have been the most important heroes. With time, you'll be relegated to somewhere until she has her own identity. You also don't want to be the software for your child for life. You really want them to grow to an adult of their own. So if you are already displaying healthy love and humanity, not just a superhero who has no feelings. If you are displaying how you are dealing with life, she's normalizing how men are. And she won't be appealed to any man who deviates from that. One of the best things about being a man is by just being, you inspire. That's how much godlike power we have. We are so powerful, God identifies with us. He's Heavenly Father, not Heavenly Mother. Okay, there's another context. He's also called the breasted one. But overall, we are given his kind of format. We, the men who lead the house, we inspire girls to know what is normal. So that's number one. Number two is, I wanted to have daddy-daughter times when she can talk and ask things that are ringing in her head, the things she saw on social media, the things she's hearing her friends doing, because many of them are being introduced to madness early. They're living very sick homes. Many of these homes have no leadership at all. It's just the maid who handles the food and whatever, and the parent is drinking, coming late, going to work, flying here, so they send drivers and schools to handle their children. There are no morals and values nowadays in families anymore, and the child is hearing a lot of madness, that hearing, you don't have to marry a man, even you can be a girl kind of, you can also change your gender. So she's hearing things. Be there for her to ask. And what you say will belong to her. Dad said. And she will just stop the debate there. Dad said. Don't miss that chance. She has questions she's hearing from the world now. And the last thing you can do to buffet your child is to make sure that you don't hand her over to these four-world classrooms and these mannerless schools that are just after money, and these institutions that just want to merchandise our children, helped by government to make things compulsory. And I would suggest that you educate your child 50%, the normal curriculum of arithmetic and language and grammar, and then the other 50% exposure. Bring her to these sittings. Let her know that you can do a podcast. When you're going to transact business or employ and hire people, let the girl sit. As soon as she's old enough to sit for 2 hours, start involving her. As soon as she can do normal meals like grown-ups, and does not have that childlike dependency, carry her wherever you can go. That exposure is more powerful than the education of the forward classroom. That classroom has its own place, the paperwork, the degree has its own place, but the going to negotiate in life is more powerful. Seeing them handle delayed traffic, slow life, because when you sit her, and don't give her a phone too soon, because the phone advertises an unreal life, very fast, screens changing, entertaining, stimulating. That's not real life. One reason these kids are so bored and they're depressed because we oriented them to a virtual world, so they can't handle the real world. So let the child sit here and be bored after three-hour podcast that there's no event. That's more realistic.
That is interesting.
Yes.
But then let me ask you a little bit about, you talked about the 50%.
Yes.
And you talked about the other 50%.
Yes.
I want
education and exposure.
Yes. Could you explain more about that?
One is this child hears about their sexuality from Hollywood and whoever, and they hear about feelings and sensations. So they only know relationships come from chemistry. But when you bring the child closer to hear dialogues about whenever you do your outings with your wife, begin to include these kids. Let them sit on a table there, have their moment, you're having your moment, then have a family moment. Let them see you doing love in a realistic way, so that you at least dilute the movies. You dilute the telenovela. Because the telenovela, for a movie to be interesting and it's a love story, it must be dramatic. Healthy love story would not make a show. It wouldn't sell. All the love stories you have watched had drama, chaos, toxicity. Peace came at the end. It was the conclusion. If they said these are harmonious people, respect each other, they apologize when they are wrong, that movie will end in 2 minutes. So all the love stories your child is watching is hyped for drama and entertainment. It's not reality. I want your real story, your real love story, to be the one you display in front of her, so that she knows people don't have to be excited. In movies, all kissing is emotional. In movies, all sex is passionate. In movies, everything is heightened. And we are shooting Take 10, but that Take 10 is meant to look like reality. In life, we don't rehearse, we just live. So let the child see a real. You are the only true love story the child sees, and they'll measure it to know. My parents used to just show up for each other whether there's excitement or not. My dad, there will be rain, and he would brave the rain to do what dad mom wanted. He would help with the groceries. My mom would go to his way to make a meal for dad. If mom looks like he has fever, dad would step in and help. That is more normal than the Hollywood stories. The stories we see on TV that are 8 p.m. very addictive are addictive because they are a lie. And they advertise lacking boundaries, being an empath, being narcissistic, being manipulative, for it to be entertaining and for people to wait for next episode. It must be toxic. Remember that. All love stories on telenovela are toxic. If they were peaceful, they wouldn't sell. Peace is not camera friendly. Toxicity is camera friendly. Yes.
That's interesting. So now we have the child that has been brought up.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes.
Then we have a child that has been left to grow like a tree in the wilderness.
Yes.
And so I want to be very specific with my questioning, because there is a route I'm trying to follow so that we guide ourselves throughout.
True.
Then we come to the points.
Yes.
That and I want to quickly read them to the audience.
Yes.
We are going to be talking about waiting on love, why personal growth should come before serious dating in your youth. We are going to also be talking about spotting and surviving narcissists in relationships, turning heartbreak into personal growth, no excuses by 35, taking charge of your life, and we will talk about self-worth, and we'll talk about the high-value man.
Very exciting.
So let's go back. I'm giving you a specific example of a girl at the university and is not able to choose well. Okay?
Girls should not be dating. Girls in the university should not be dating with men.
That is dramatic.
Yes. Anybody under 25 has not psychologically matured. And most girls in college are not yet 25. Psychologically, this is not me. You can Google it. The prefrontal cortex, the brain that is logical, that determines your personality, matures at 25. Before 25, everything is egg, larva, pupa, maggot, not adult. Everything is maggot, larva, egg. It's in between. After 25, that's when the brain has finished growing and your true personality has shown. You can marry at any time you want, but after that, you risk feeling caged and cheated and shortchanged and intercepted. That's one reason those girls become very bitter. Before 25, they look very malleable. They're agreeable. They want your guidance. People who want to dominate women will go to college and date this fresh graduate or second year, whatever, because she has not many opinions of life. She's still very young. She's just a yes person. You also feel like you're babysitting her when you date those girls because they have erratic moods. And they're also controlled by parents and home and environment a lot. They have not healed. The most stupid thing a girl can do is to open her romantic world, to expose herself to that time before 25. Girls are more vulnerable because men tend to have more options according to society. But if a woman gets child, she's called single mother permanently. Men are not carrying that label of single father. People don't remember that he has a child. But the girl is shamed for it forever. The body count is about women. How many men have gone into you? So the moment this girl starts dating before she has matured mentally, she has not designed a lifestyle, designed a career path, designed the kind of money she wants, the size of life she wants to live, which part of the world and how big of the world she wants to occupy. She has not determined what marriage looks like, what men are about, her past. She has not dealt with her father wounds. She has not dealt with her perception of marriage, the fears she has, and the paranoia. The better thing a girl should be doing between 18 to 24 is healing, learning, perfecting her skills, asking of the world, of the kind of money she wants, demanding, because life does not give you what you desire, it gives you what you insist on, what you fight for, what you stand your foot on. Being a graduate means nothing, by the way. Can we discourage graduates a little bit? When you have a degree, it just means you can follow instructions. You followed instructions for 4 years. Nobody cares about whether you can follow instructions. The world wants where they can solve problems. So many people have degrees because they can follow instructions, not because they can solve problems. And the world pays solution to problems. Does not pay following instructions. Even you, the people you are working working for. They frustrate you when they're just waiting for you to tell them everything to do. You're asking them, you see the problems, suggest the solutions for me, apply your mind, solve the... But I'm
that's why I'm consulting you.
So we want employees who can think like the employer, who can solve problem. But if you just think, because I'm doing a degree, my career is sorted, now let me look for a husband, you are very misled. That time is for learning how to apply yourself. In fact, I should encourage them to minimize how much they idle around campus. Attend classes, and in between classes, go to the industry you're studying. 60% of our Kenyan people are studying what they want to practice. They don't like what they're studying. They're lost. They chose the degrees influenced by everything else, not by self-knowledge. So when you start putting your foot, that was my experience. I started practicing, doing a moot court. I was doing law. Trying to go to law, I realized it's not ringing, it's not registering with me. So in between classes, go to the industry. Go do free, appear in that sector. Your heart will tell you, are you aligned or not? Class you can do because you're bright. A students are the most cursed in society because they can do anything. So they end up doing the wrong things. Sometimes a C+ student has few options and less confusion. You need more guidance when all the courses are inviting you. And then because you have an A, people don't expect you to do psychology or bachelor or to do podcasting, whatever. They expect you to do medicine, architect, engineering. So college, don't date. Evolve, grow, preserve yourself. I've written 2 books particularly for
that is a 25. Tough ask.
Yes. It is the only way. I was there and I went through it. I was there.
It's interesting that you are a lawyer and you are also a psychologist.
Yes.
Very, very two lethal combinations. Now, the government says that you become of age at 18. That is the law.
Legal age.
That the legal age.
Perfect.
Then there is the psychological age.
Yes. So legal majority is 18.
18.
Psychological maturity is 25.
Why? So draw for me, put it in context for me. Get into the mind of the government for me, and then get into the mind of the psychologist for me. Because you'd correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking, why then could we just put it at 25?
Legal age is more of a consensus. Remember, we are a democratic society. The parliamentarians, they propose and they vote. That becomes a law, okay? Democracy means dictatorship of the majority. So those who vote and say 18, that's why it is still standing. In the West, some countries, it's 16. Actually, in Europe, after 18, you're not allowed to be housed at home. If you're housed, you should pay rent. So it's a consensus. I'm just telling you, why do they settle for 18? Because they want you to be independent. Government does not want dependents, it wants independent people. So they're usually giving you legal freedom to own a license, work, contribute to the economy. They don't want dependents who are on your back of your parents all these years. And they don't want to say, when you are young, they have to educate you, they have to pay things for you because you're under 18, you're a minor, you are a burden to the government. Everybody can't wait to get rid of you. It's a way for them to reduce their baggage.
Oh my God. Nobody has ever said that like this.
They can't wait. They can't wait. Next, somebody will introduce it calling it 16 and it will pass. Next time it will be reduced to 16 to also lessen the burden on government.
And insurance companies.
Thank you. When you are a minor, you are everybody's burden. You see, when you are a major, now you commit a crime, we arrest you. Now go pay your own bills. Now get out. Now stand on your... Everybody can't wait. So it's not a favor that we are giving you 18. We can reduce it to 13 if we can. It's a mercy. It's been out of human rights that have campaigned to be increased. Long time ago, it was... They could be married off forcefully at 13, at 12. Now they are mature. Give them this license. There's a country that passed that age of consent to 9 years. Some Islamic country someplace. Age of consent to 9 years. People can't wait to chain you, to use you. People can't wait for you to stop being protected. So the age of protection is 18. But don't take it for granted. Say, because it's 18 now, I can do whatever I want. Consequences will be yours personally. Think about your psychological maturity is how we are created. And I encourage you journey with your child and encourage them to take their time. In fact, you said your daughter is 10 and I felt excited for you because now you have the only decade to make her a global woman in front of you.
I have what?
Decade, 10 years, 13 to 23. That's the time she has all the capacity to grow to anything you want.
Tell me more about that.
From teenage, they begin to entertain. They have all the hormones of grown-ups. Can be attracted to men. So they can understand sexuality, language, husband, wife, family. Okay, their body begins to look like. It's also beginning now to produce. So you can tell her, if you do this, this can result. You can produce a child if you're not careful now. So from 13 to 23, it's a very golden opportunity. That's the time the schools usually take the child away from you. And they will never see them again. Be careful. Be careful with this boarding schools you think is a privilege. You're dumping your child away, and the child will be oriented by the world, by people you don't know. They'll be sleeping next to girls you don't know what the language they talk, and the manners they have, the values they think they carry, the spirituality they have out there. So 13 to 23, I encourage that you bring the child closer to you for mentorship. You've been a father there before. They were a child. Treat them now like a young woman. Change your language. Don't use corporal punishment. Reason. When they're making bad decisions, sit down with them. If you have to do negative reinforcement, you withdraw privileges to register pain. Don't be aggressive. Because they have a capacity to run away now. They think they have options out there. They can elope to a boyfriend. Use the mother, if it's a girl, use the mother for that closer touch of reprimanding when it's needed. Let the mother do it. You have that authority of respect. So 13 to 23 is mentorship. Expose them to business. Trust. Give her 50,000 to do trading online. Give her deals. Ask her to check where Airbnbs are selling better. You want to invest 500K you have somewhere. Let her advise you. She can talk to ChatGPT the whole day and give you many options to invest, and you don't have that time yourself. Involve her in the business explorations, in decisions you are making. Even this show, let her tell you topics. What people want there. The young Gen Zs, what are they asking for? So involve her in whatever you're doing, and then give her another name. Concoct from your own head an identity. Mischievously. Just come up with an identity that is not too specific, but it calls her to a standard. Call her, you're a global role model. You. Girls will be coming to you to find out how to do life. When I see you, I'm so privileged to have been given the chance to do it with you. Now, read this book, tell me what it says about great women. You just came with a book. You're trying to introduce. Great women. A podcast.
I am loving this.
Then she breaks it down. And then you are there now, the student telling her, she's telling you, and then you can see how she's forming. She's just a blank slate now, 13 to 23. After 23, she's more of a young woman. She's beginning to venture into the world. By then, she has maybe a master's degree. But then she can be trusted with a director. Also form a family investment where you can also tap her strengths. And so there's also succession. Don't wait until you're dying, then you're giving her some title deeds. Involve her now.
Don't wait for yourself to die.
Yes. Involve her now. Don't have secret things there. If you build friendship with your children, you have the only trustworthy team at home. The only trustworthy team is at home. Build trust there. Whatever it costs you. Do dinners weekly or every fortnightly. Travel wherever. Buy friendship from your children at any price. They will bury
friendship.
You. They will bury you. Those are the people who will carry on what you've been living for, and the ones who will pick it and you can trust it with them. Friendship, I mean by mentorship. But establish yourself as the authority they can trust. So they'll open to you and they have questions. If you answer their small questions now, they'll also trust you with big questions later. If you answer their small questions now, petty questions. What's wrong with gays? What's wrong with lesbian? What does it happen, by the way? My friend says she's bi. What does bi mean? Petty questions that are irritating to you. But you can ask ChatGPT how to explain to a 10-year-old the concept of bisexual versus... Yes. Okay, start here, morality, whatever. You already have your standard. You can simply explain it. Say, from the Bible, I believe in the Bible. We are meant to be this way. So whatever you believe in, go at it like that. And many times you think they're not listening, that becomes, they trust that more than the world. If you are a person who has won their authority, you just won by loving their mother, be present at home, be peaceful, come home consistently, prefer family. Girls in particular, they remember good deeds longer than men. Women have that capacity to balance and say, Dad had these weaknesses and these strengths. Let me go with the strengths. Women talk like that. Men don't talk like that. You either win or you fail. Yes.
Okay. Tell me about a little bit about the man.
Yes.
In during these formative years.
Yes.
Because men go haywire so fast and become abusers.
Yes.
And I'm trying to track it back into their childhood. How men become abusers and become people that are a bit reckless, for lack of a better word.
I hope you know the Y chromosome is more delicate than the X chromosome to begin with. Children are born 50-50 at birth. There's no gender imbalance. It's like boys die more. If there's cholera outbreak.
Tumezikwa.
So, first of all, the chromosome we are carrying requires more care. I just wanted to pass that point. If a boy is being raised by a person who is not careful, it's more girls who will survive than boys. When you're cleaning babies, many people tell you, even when you babysit, the boys tend to breastfeed a lot, they need a lot of food. So the mother is breastfeeding a boy, because many times they tend to be better eaters, has to really sacrifice, eat a lot of food, gain weight, forget about herself, to take care of a boy. So later in life now, to bring the context why men go that way, society had removed man to take him to work very far away in the industries and all that. So he was not there to mentor the boys. In a typical homestead, by 6 p.m., the mother is telling girls to be home because it's not safe out there. And they should be home making supper, doing chores. So the mother mentors the girls. But the boy is following the role model of the father who is away. So the boys go out to cinema, they go out into the dark, they come home, they're let loose. When boys become puberty after circumcision in many cultures, he's like, no, he's now a man. He does not know life, but he's loitering there, trying to sleep with girls, trying to drink, trying to prove whatever. So socially, we removed the mentorship of the man. So it's not the boy child who is the problem, it's the boy's father who is the problem. The boy's father was detached. They went to fight in the forest in Mau Mau, and women were left to mentor the boys. That's why they're calling themselves Peter Kigia wa Esther. It's the mother who is the hero because she was present. After we fought in the forest, we're still working in the forest. We're still drinking the forest. We're watching football away there. We come home in the dark, and we sit on a corner there with a special plate and a special cup and a remote control. And when you come home, everybody disappears. Mom is a social person. Dad is a police officer. More of an authority figure. So the problem is men are not mentored. There's no relationship. If you want to reverse this dynamic, create a relationship with your son. Teach him emotional language. Let him hear say that you feel tired, that you feel worried about so-and-so, that you're concerned that your uncle is going this way. Express, I'm talking about emotional language. Let him hear say that you're tired, that you're stressed or you're concerned, you feel a little bit apprehensive about what's coming tomorrow. You are really looking forward to this deal, you're disappointed it didn't go through, that you're worried why that show has not grown so far, this worker is not performing, why are they like, let them hear the language like your emotional language. Your boy is speaking and receiving authority to be emotionally expressive. The only emotions we had from our fathers was drunkenness, when they're screaming, they're drunk, when they're angry, and nothing else. There was no joy, relatability, and warmth. Give your boy that. Greet him. Listen to him. Validate his presence. Congratulate his effort. Don't call him a genius every day because he's performing well. Because you're telling him it's not about effort, it's about who he is. Telling him it's about the effort. Just congratulate the effort. There's a time to call the child, oh, good boy, good guy, when they're very young, when they don't have language. But as soon as they have language, like your daughter now, always ask them, oh, you worked so hard at that. How did it feel? Let her describe the effort so that you plant effort. That is more important than you are a bright girl. If she fails, you think now she's no longer bright. But if you congratulate effort and process and intentionality, she knows failing is just school fees as steps. Sometimes I've just learned how not to do it, I'll try it next time. She does not personalize failure. I'm just saying, teach your boy, be close. Let them see you doing life. And whenever you're going out, as a family, keep your children close, but let the boy know that being a man is just human. You don't have to be a superhuman, because society is saying you have to have biceps, to have look this way, look things perfect. No, you do your best and you make peace with the rest. If you don't have the perfect hairline, people like us, I don't know what is hairline. mine took an early vacation. Does not mean you're lacking something.
Yeah.
If you are told that handsome like Jagero, be happy with it. But some other men, that's not what they have. Others have a different body shape. Work with what you have. This is what Jagero does not have, another guy has. You know, somebody has dreads. Me, if I was put dreads, where do I put them? So you can't tell me dreads is masculinity. Character. Plant it in the idea of your son. That is your heart. How you keep your promise, how you show leadership, how you apply yourself at your work, how you are sincere, how you keep your word, how you are not corruptible, how you are a good steward of family resources, and how you can be faithful with your wife, how you can be true out of sight. If you plant to your son that those are the things that define a man, he will never deviate from that. He will say, Dad told me to be a man is to say what you mean and mean what you say. It's not to always outperform other men. There's no competition. I only have a goal to run. I have a race to run. Dad started a show because he felt that was his calling. He did not start to compete. He didn't care who else was doing what. And he was happy to grow at his pace. If you see other guys growing, he was not fighting them. He was happy to learn something from them. And he learned that by watching you. So that's how you mentor your boy to be different.
They are, let's say they are 25. Yes. Because the other thing that I've also seen as I read about relationships and how they finally end on the rocks. This is the pattern that I'm also seeing. Yes. That once young boys and young men start having relationships, and whatever turn it takes, the parents in these stories seem very powerless on how to go about it. So, for example, there is a story that I was reading about. This girl comes home drunk with no teeth. And the mother seems to have no idea of how to go about this issue. She does not go to the police. She does not tell this girl not to go back to this man. There is that pattern that I am seeing. So perhaps I don't know whether there is a way that parents can be equipped to see through the relationship that their kids are involved in. And what do you do?
Yes, men, particularly boys, will consult you about their decisions and relationships if you were already part of their lives before this. They will trust who they respect. So girls bond using love. Women bond basically using love. Men bond using respect.
What does that mean?
Men go to whom they respect, girls to whom they love. So you've heard that women are emotional. That part of emotional bonding and connecting, their nervous system must feel warm and received by you. Even intimacy and sex, the woman must feel that way for her to be receptive, for her to be involved. She must like you, feel treasured, feel affection from you. The man is the one respect. That's why women keep getting it wrong with men. Because they go at them with lovey-dovey, all this. But you cannot command his respect. Command a man's respect, we shall discuss it another time, but you must not be accessible to other men. Men are territorial and fierce. You've heard about the jealousy of women. The jealousy of men is worse, leads to death. The Bible says if you touch a man's wife, you're scooping fire into your lap. That a husband who has been jilted by a cheating wife, or you're coming to his territory, he won't be appeased by anything. And his jealousy is like death. Men are fiercely territorial. If you want to win a man's respect, be inaccessible to men, including him, before marriage. Don't give him anything. He will know you are inaccessible and he can trust you. Men already know women play very subtle games because they don't trumpet their cheating. And if he marries a woman who has potential sleep, we have sex outside marriage, he cannot control it. And she will sleep, even birth children for other people right under your nose. Because women live very conducive lives for cheating. They move in zigzags. You came from work to home, back home. You move in straight lines. Your wife went to the grocery supermarket, went to the teacher, went to the dress. This moves. She has so many hiding places. You can't even track where she went.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So, what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjagero.co.ke. And now, back to programming.
Yes, women meet in church where women move in spirals. They have 100 hiding places. And they have capacity to multitask. She can chat and she won't show it. If the sidekick texts, she can keep cool. Because she has that capacity. You don't. If the girl texts, we need to talk, you change. She can see. So generally, men are where we in terms of lying and downplay. This Equatorial Guinea guy, it was one guy to 400 women and only the one idiot. The guy is the one who spilled the beans. The 400 never spilled. Ask yourself. One guy, 400 women. Who finally revealed it?
Amen.
And yet the 400 kept, and they were doing referrals. The women were referring. The men don't know.
That's bonkers, bro.
So I'm just telling you, you win a man's respect when he knows the way you respect yourself. I tell them, when a man starts dating you here, he may take the conversation towards sex. One is a temptation because he's attracted to you. Next is a test to see whether you do allow men to do that with you. That's why they usually lose the interest after sleeping with you, because he can't tell now how many men you have slept with them, and how many others you sleep with. And because he has also participated, he is guilty. And he can't judge you for the same thing he has done. That's why he runs away without explaining. Because if he explains, he'll also be indicting himself, that he's judging you for something he also participated in. But he knows the position of women. Women are the one who control mating. Even in the animal kingdom, the mating is controlled by female. The man may propose, it's the woman who allow, whether it's happen or not. The games are being controlled by the referee. The teams may be ready to play, but if there's no whistle, we start, it will never start. So the man, you win his respect when you are incorruptible, not compromising. That's why you are born with a seal. The Creator put seal on women, but they have been here implying that the Creator didn't know what he was doing. Men are not born with a seal. We're not saying they are permitted, but you're saying that it's being controlled by you. That's why you have a natural seal. You're supposed to keep it until the right time when a man has covenanted for you. It was made for covenant. You hear that. The blood of the covenant. Blood is thicker than water is a short form. Which blood? Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That us being siblings coming from the womb is not as strong as being married and we are bound by covenant of blood.
Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Okay, blood is thicker than water.
Because you start from the seal. Because I feel like you are talking in figurative language.
Yes.
So people are like, the seal. You know, there are people who don't read the Bible. People don't read, but they watch podcasts.
So when I say the seal, I mean the hymen, the seal that you have created, that virginity, that the first time you engage, it sheds blood. That blood was meant to seal a covenant. So it's supposed to let it be shed by the man who has signed a covenant of death and life. That's the ideal situation for marriage. Give your body, let the man open the seal. If you buy a soda and does not do that chi thing, you become suspicious.
Yeah.
If I give you this tea I've been taking, you refuse to take it.
Yes.
So why have you been taking other men's tea? It's the same. God never, it said drink water from your own cistern. It says that in the Bible. It has my saliva. And then you come there. Then you have put a paper there called condom. Now you have also come there. It's the same thing. So it was meant to be sealed. For one person, drink water from your own cistern. So that's what I'm referring to. And I'm saying, even if you're not virgin, because society has broken down, a lot of gentlemen understand that by the time they meet the woman, she may not have the hymen intact. At the time when she do not have enough father's protection. Jagero, if your daughter loses virginity without you having a clue that something happened, you'll have failed. You should have a clue that she's going through something. When you are connected with her emotionally, you can tell when she's sad, when she's not talking normally. You can tell when she has lost something. And you should be able to know that something happened. But previously, men were not close to daughters, women were too burdened with raising the family by themselves or whatever. So during neglect, girls do lose their virginity before they understand themselves. So I'm not saying you must be virgin to have a good man. I'm saying if there was a period when you were exposed and you lost it, did you realize yourself later and preserve yourself? What you call secondary preservation, secondary virginity. Are you having many men's energies? There's more research showing that men don't just deposit their seed in you, they also affect your energetic composition, DNA, emotions, and all that. There's a guy who told me he experienced it. He didn't have language for it, but he had been living a clean life. Then during transitions, most men lose themselves during transition between college and when they get a job and starting their own family. They depart from everybody who knew them. They go to new towns. So he slept with a woman who was available. And then he had never known what is depression. He had never known what is panic attack. He had never had nightmares. He started having all of them from nowhere, from the blues. Sex as an energetic exchange. Can the man find you not carrying other men's energies? Even if you're not virgin. That's what I'm saying. That's how you command respect. And that's how he knows if he's in a sitting in a show. I told you, Jagero, you're very easy to cheat on. You know you're on a show now. Your woman knows where you are. She can do whatever. You're very easy to cheat on. Don't think you're a superhero. My life is so visible. If my wife had shady life, she can do for 20 years. Your woman can cheat.
Scary. Julie, scary.
I want you to get a woman who, you know, she cannot compromise on her convictions. That's your only safety. But what are we doing as men? The moment you start dating her, you take her quickly to bed.
It's very interesting because the other day we were having a heated exchange with a gentleman, and we were asking why the president does not go for interviews in TV stations. Say that's a huge security blunder. That for people will know from all over the world that from 7 to 8, the president is at Nation House. That's not something that should happen.
We have systems. He's not the only watch guard. We have systems. He has security systems. So the guy was just trying to be literal, saying the man should hide his movements. But nowadays, he can command things. We have systems. I'm just saying, yes, sometimes a man, you are known so much where you are, and those who are cheeky can be cheeky. There's a guy, when men text me telling me that the woman is cheating, and I ask them, did you date correctly? Did you interview for character? No. You also started sleeping there. You're calling it traditional marriage. You moved in. Did you think you are the only man sleeping there? Can you be so delusional?
How do you interview for character?
During dating,
in a dating scenario.
You do dialogues, Jagero. You do dialogue.
Yes.
You don't do intimacy. Dating should be an interview, not indulgence.
All right.
You assess opinions and perspectives and mindsets and decisions and goals and aspirations.
How so?
Conversations. Check what she's posting, what she's interested in. When you meet, talk. Nowadays, you can actually do a coffee date on Zoom. Evening after work, set your own Zoom, put coffee there, and let it be like this. It will just look like coffee date and feel like a coffee date. Talk about her life, decisions she has made, what she's hoping for. When a woman is empty, the stories will run out quickly. When a woman is deep and she's reading books and planning a family, hoping to have this kind of home, she's full of those stories. Dating is all simple when you're assessing character. Men are assessing hips, and they're using the organ between their legs, not the one between their ears. That's why it's so difficult. Did you know toxic women are very sweet in bed?
Ooh.
They have nothing else to offer. They have perfected that art. Do you think you are road testing? You are dipping your finger where you never get it out of. The best way is to test character so that she cannot impress you with her thighs. If you're too lust-driven, she'll just show you the watermelons. You're finished.
A man that seated somewhere would be saying, what are the questions to ask?
Don't be interrogative, be conversational. You see, as a man, I've driven, when you have cast a life, Jagero, a vision for your own life, you are now looking for a deputy for that vision. You see, it becomes very straight. The reason you're blank is because you also don't know where you're going. When you know where you're going, for example, me, I hated poverty with a passion.
Did you?
I saw people die. I saw mayhem. Women dying, giving birth. Children, infants. No food, shame. Women with tattered clothes. So I came with intense passion to escape. Now, you can guess already where my conversations go. What do you think about how much money you would be making ideally to live a good life? Then she has no figure, no idea. I know this is not the one. What kind of home would you ideally, where would you like to live? What kind of neighborhoods would you like to have? What kind of traveling? If the chance comes to travel. Stupid, I'm not there. My interviews were very quick. We don't need coffee date. By the time we meet physically, the first phone call is enough. Passion comes out in the first conversation. So, because I was burning to create a large life, I wanted a woman who was that that. And if I don't get it, I don't bother coming close. But they avoid coming close to women. Their charm only works when they're very, very close. Don't zoom the Instagram photos. Don't be stupid. Why are you zooming? Then you're seeing the nyash. Then your head locks. You hypnotize yourself. You marry a big nyash, small head. Because that's what you zoomed. Try to hear her ideas. Test her thinking. Check her perspectives. Many women have nothing to offer you. 9 out of 10 women can't sustain a conversation.
Why?
They're not deep. She did not go to college to study. She was just passing exams, cramming the 2 weeks to exam. She has not, I know that she's following. She doesn't even passionately follow any podcast. She doesn't have any role models. She's just always following women shaking their bums on TikTok. All her passions are about Alejandro and fantasy. When you try to talk about what do you think about, you don't even need to go to religion and politics because sometimes it's very divisive. It will come out as you talk about these other real things. Your career, ideally where you're taking career. I'm waiting to get permanent and pensionable. No problem permanent and pensionable, but some people are looking for somewhere to sit. That's what I mean. I hope I get a guy who can provide. You can get ideas. Oh, she's praising her girl who was married a rich guy. You know, you can get the idea. You can collect opinions. You also create situations, let her advise you. So you test character and mindset. That's what you will deal with. That's what will raise your children or make your home very cold. That's what will make your home peaceful or very chaotic. I was telling you, the questions I've stopped answering. When you're not keen to assess who she is by the mind, by opinion, by behavior, by standards, class, by hygiene, if you're not keen to check whether she bathes, the body of women is very delicate. If you bathed once, you start smelling. If a woman needs to take a shower once a day, and she'll be smelling. She has many places she can hold that. You get what I mean? And there's a pipe in the shower. It's meant for women to do up, top, down shower, not just the bottom up is mandatory for them. Does she have that touch? I was so scared because I went to home where kitchen was full of houseflies. Cockroaches were part of the home, micro-comrades. I went to home and I was silently afraid that I married that kind of a character. So what do? You peep how she looks when she doesn't have makeup. Does she look clean? How her house looks. Many of them look good. They're dressed up out here. But when you go in their house, you meet Panty at the door. You meet the chips, remainder of chips on the bed. Guys have sent me photos of how the bedroom looks like. Heaps of clothes, remains of food, and he's supposed to squeeze there and sleep there. The woman say, I'm waiting for weekend for Mama Fua to come. Some women have no cleanliness. They bath a child and they start smelling all over. You can't even, shiriki meza ya bwana, everything is smelly. Even if you want, you may look away and then vumilia because it's not palatable. Some people don't like cooking. They won't feed you, you'll be starving. You eat by hotel, you come home. Unabakisha kakuota kadogo, kipata kanini utakula. Because there's nobody trying to feed you on purpose. Becoming a wife is a very hard job. 90% of women are not keen with it. They're just getting boyfriend. I've been in a relationship for 7 years. She's saying, I've been sleeping with a man for 7 years. That's what they mean. Nowadays, when they say serious relationship and they say committed relationship, they mean fornication. They don't preserve themselves. But then when you date right, you can't date long. When interviews can't go for 2 years. Have you had an interview go for 3 years? When you're dating for marriage, you can't date for 10 years.
Yeah.
You prepare for the job for 10 years, but the interview is a day or maybe a series of interviews, but usually targeted. Dating should be a staircase, not a place to say, I'm a lawyer, at least I've been sleeping with only one guy. If you've been screwed by a guy everywhere for 2-3 years, and he paid nothing, no cows, no dowry, why should a man like me come over and now pay everything to get the same thing? Am I an idiot? One man's meat is another man's poison, but women don't understand that. You gave him your nakedness, you took yourself there, shut out the light, removed your clothes, shut the door, and then you're there with the idiot. He did whatever he wanted with you, all the badminton positions, and now he did himself until, and he repeated, and he cleansed, and he went back. Now, after he did all that to all of you and knew you everywhere, planted the seed, some of them planted the seed, germinated to a child, I can see the child here. Now I'm supposed to take over from there. Am I an idiot? Stupid.
Let's talk about narcissism.
Yes.
A lot of this word has been thrown around a lot. From a psychological point of view, can you give me context of what narcissism actually is?
When you say
and how it gets into, and then we're going to talk about narcissism in relationships.
When you talk about narcissists, we're talking about a person who's disordered. It's a personality disorder. It's a personality disorder that comes from a person who is self-absorbed and who has been developmentally retarded. It has many elements which we may not cover today. I'm one of the person who writes most about narcissism to help people.
Really?
I write a lot about them. I'm even compiling a book exclusively about them because there are so many. So what differentiates narcissists from normal people is that you have a life that you enjoy and you can sit at peace doing your life. You can do your show, you can research for your show, you can rest. A narcissist can do that. So narcissism is a disorder of shame. When they have not developed to have a life they're proud of and a center, a core that they are proud of to present to the world, an identity that is coherent. I am Benjamin. I am Jagero. I'm an author. I do podcast. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with my life. But you love your wife, but you don't depend on her for your joy. You get that difference. So narcissists cannot sit with their life. They have no life they can sit with, no self-esteem they can depend on, no confidence they can present with. Those things that take cultivation. They did not cultivate them. They did not develop them. So narcissism comes from a child who was overspoiled to think they are already born lucky with a silver spoon in their tooth. You can spoil your child into complete emptiness. They become a hollow who expect to be worshipped and massaged. That's one way. The other way is a trauma they did not heal from. Trauma takes away from you. They were drained by abandonment, by parental abuse, by heartbreak that was shattering. People can become narcissists are vindictive and hollow and empty and angry and bitter at life, and it can come from trauma. So usually the two origins. The other thing, how you shall identify them is they cannot form genuine love. They form a love spell. They act to make you fall in love. They use logic to make you feel emotions. They avoid emotions. They can't deal with emotions, can't deal with themselves. Emotions are very heavy things, energies really. For you to feel joy, to feel genuine sadness, you need to have a base where you can stand and say, let me go through this feeling, I'll be back. Narcissists can't do that. So what they do is, they know you're looking to be loved. So they listen to what you're describing like love. If a woman is a narcissist, she'll listen to how you like church-like girls, traditional girls. She'll dress like them, even quote verses. Even do but she's performing until a love spell is created and you marry her. I was cutting my hair one time, and across it was a salon, and a woman was being prepared for wedding, and she was being asked how she managed to marry such a clean guy. And these girls who are with her, they know her. You tell us, how did you get that guy? And they, you don't have to play this game. Just play with what he wants. After this, you can show your true colors. So they create a spell to win you, and if you are the kind of guy who wants to smash, they enjoy it, because now they can create a false bond. Sex creates false intimacy, false connection. True connection does
How does it do that?
Because it's very emotional. Particularly if you're a coherent person. If you're not a prostitute who sleeps with everything, your sex is very emotional. You understand? For you to sleep with everything, you need to numb your body. That is just a performance. You cannot be a sex worker and you're attaching to everybody, you will die. Do you understand? One guy told me he had a body count, a student who graduated from KU told me he had a body count of 200 and he felt hollow and empty. You thought you were going to enjoy and you sleep with many women. Or each of them took a piece of you. You lied to them to get into their nakedness until you begin to feel a guilty that makes you feel like a devil. You've lied to so many people, broken their hearts, until you feel hollow. Who are you even? You're an addict of that thing. So it became like a dopamine high, like cocaine. And as you know, with all addictions, they go reducing the reward. Your brain knows you're cheating, so it reduces the reward. You feel a high today with one bottle. Next month, it won't give you the same high. You need 2 bottles to do the same, 3 bottles. So the brain is reducing reward because you're taking shortcuts. At some point, it will numb completely until even when you do how many, you don't feel anything. That's how addictions even to sex go. So we are saying, what did you ask about?
I asked about you are contextualizing narcissism.
So, yes, the sex creates false chemistry in that you feel like you're connected. It also creates false chemistry because many times to sleep together, you have to promise more for the person to give sex. You have to lie. And you have to create a kind of excitement in them and anticipation. And then they feel now we are something. We usually say men fall in love before sex and women fall in love after sex. So the woman is beginning to fall in love when the man is done. He just wanted sex and he's done with you. You think now we are special. And you're waiting for texts and you're beginning to ask, now you're ignoring me. I saw a screenshot where the lady say, so you just wanted to see my naked. All those words you were saying, just wanted to get to live myself. Now that you're so naked. And the guy says, you also saw my naked. Oh, you think mine was a graphic design?
Mine was not graphic design.
people can lie in order to get to sex. So by the time we get together, we think now we have started something special. It was meant to be covenantal. Sex is so deep. That's the only time you're inside a person. Says David went into by the shepherd. That's the only time it was meant to go into somebody. And I tell women, you're not in the same place as men. Biomechanically, a man can change you by sleeping with you. If the foot wears the socks, can expand the socks, can change the socks, know that the next foot may not fit so well. You're not the same place as men. They think somebody has lied to women that they also have freedom, they can do whatever they want. If you're hoping to get married, and then you're playing around, then you end up playing with heavyweight boxers. Then your husband turns out to be light featherweight. You cannot satisfy him because you already got changed biomechanically by the heavyweight boxer. To say, sometimes what you expose yourself to also makes it impossible to fit with other people. They've been told, your body is elastic only to a limit. It is also affected by abuse. It's also affected by abuse. You were never meant to have so many people going to you. That's not your physique.
So we have two questions here.
Yes.
I think the first part of the question is, how do you spot a narcissist? Secondly, should you find yourself in a narcissistic relationship, how do you survive it?
So number one, you spot narcissism. Don't look for that big word. Many people can't even pronounce it. Unfortunately, the things we need to learn they are very hard even to teach, because even spelling it is very hard. I wish you can get.
I find it very difficult to spell it myself.
Very hard. It was named from a youth called Narcissist. It's a story of the Greek mythology where the Narcissist, he was in love with himself so much. When he went to the water, he saw an image there of himself. He fell in love so much. He wanted that person he's seeing on the water. To realize it was his only shadow, he got so frustrated he drowned himself and died. It also explains how narcissists are just in love, too absorbed with themselves. So one thing you should know is a person who's absorbed with themselves. They can't compliment you, they just want you to compliment them. They get very triggered. Anytime you bring up accountability to us, for them to apologize or take responsibility for delaying you, they must reverse blame. It's like they're allergic to accountability. Anybody who see that as too fragile ego, allergic to accountability, they want to be praised, even when the praise is fake, they lap it up. Then you can tell the praise is wrong, fake flattery. So they always have flatterers around them. We call them flying monkeys. People call them boss, mkubwa, the most beautiful woman, or the most handsome. People who are pampering them around. And you can see it. Now you know many of our politicians. They can't survive without anybody massaging their ego. So anytime you see a person who needs so much validation that they must be on phone posting some things to get men to like, to get women to this, they must be stimulated constantly. That's one sign. The next sign is when you see a person who is always on the run from accountability, responsibility, they reverse blame. They delay you and they can't say, sorry, I was late. As simple as that. They can't say that.
They can't say I was late.
No, you miscommunicated, but it was that traffic jam. But you see, it's be constructed. Why can't you understand the road is on? They will argue for an hour instead of just saying, I was late. So they are allergic to simple things like, oh, my bad, I wronged. You will see it, don't underrate it. Those are usually the first tips of the iceberg. Narcissism goes very deep, but we have to tell people what they meet on a day-to-day. You also meet it at work when your boss needs to bully you to feel strong. Some people must harass you to feel powerful. They change goalposts. What you're working on this week, they change it, they vary it, and they want you to keep shifting what they're shifting. They want to feel like they're controlling you so much. They can't let you work. They can't let you be. You can see a narcissistic boss who needs so much of worshipfulness to feel good. And they don't hire the competent, they hire the worshipful. Women also show narcissism when they weaponize sex. When they see women dressed too brazen, there's a difference between beautiful and brazen. When you see her, that is, usually sex is an aggressive tool for narcissists. When they want to command the room, you to feel this way. And they usually marry weak men. You already know men in this country marry very narcissistic women.
Yo.
Weak men who control, so that she can control.
Something happened in Omobey.
So
something happened in Omobey.
When many of those people who weaponize sexuality are completely narcissistic, and they must have a man who can't ask questions, who is worshipful, who is silenced, who is mellow. They need a man who is mellow and mild, who is controllable. There's always a man in the background because they can't survive emptiness. You understand? But again, they don't need one man, they need many men. So they create a life where they can go to entertain men in clubs sexually, where they can make it as their career to be video vixen, just anything sexual. We're not saying all people in that career are narcissistic. We're just saying they are married, but they're not loyal. They create a narrative where they call you open-minded, you're a very understanding guy. I don't want to hear that your wife, the first thing she says about Jagero is a very understanding guy. Why does she need so much understanding? What kind of right does she live that you should be understanding to live with her? Because she's not loyal. And because you're weak-minded and compromising down, you're called the understanding. To say, you shall see it in women, particularly when they weaponize sex. And they need men to pamper them. Don't take it for granted when a girl is putting sexy bikini, poolside every day and she needs, don't take it for granted. That's a very empty soul. She's weaponizing sex to get any kind of attention and validation. You can't satisfy her. And if you sleep with her, you live there with many energies. You don't even know what happened to your personality. They elicit lust. By the way, Jagero, next time you talk to the girl and your body is just getting excited, avoid, run away. Many of them have mastered sexual innuendo. They drop words like sweetheart, or they go, oh, Jagero. You can't accuse anybody for calling your name. But how has it been pronounced? Jagero.
I want to look at my fans.
That is very deniable. That's very deniable.
Yeah.
It's flirtatious but suggestive. So they have mastered how to elicit your body without even your permission. When you walk on the road, they know how to accidentally brush with their shoulder. Accidentally. Where you need to accidentally. And that's what my mentor told me. The time you realize that a woman is appealing to your body without even you realizing why is she hanging on your head so much, somebody is already conspiring with your lust to bring you down. Samson didn't realize that Delilah was in cahoots with his own body. Some people already know what clicks with you. As you talk, you describe your type. And they can mimic it. They can mimic your type. Not all women appeal to you, but there's a type that appeals to you. They'll bring it. Yes.
And how do you survive when you finally find yourself in one? Maybe you're married and you realize, oh, this person is actually...
You don't survive narcissism. You run away from it.
You can't survive it.
No. You have a personality, they don't. You have a real life to live, they don't. You have seen that tree, that parasitic, that climbs on other trees. It has no stem, it has no roots, but it attaches on other trees. Those are narcissists. They choke you while living on you. And they need to annihilate you to feel powerful. Eventually, even if they don't shoot you in the head, they will stress you until you crash on the road.
Wow. That is...
They're not trying to tease. It's not a game they're playing. They derive satisfaction from complete domination. And complete domination means they only have sex when it's painful to you and pleasurable to them. They vary the terms, that they want it when you don't want it and they don't want it when you want it.
They vary the terms?
Yes.
So you might want it and at that point they decide that they don't want it?
Yes. And when you don't want it, that's when they want it. So you will get children. They create children with you as a control tool. To get your money, to control your life, to mess your life. So men, narcissists who use pregnancy to keep the woman down. Female narcissists who use children to hook you. They always go to good-hearted people. Narcissists can't team up together because they have no polarity. None of them is a giver. They need a giver. They need an empath who understands, who is compromised, who forgives, who gives another chance, who covers their image. Narcissists can build a home. They don't like cleaning, they don't like cooking, they don't like babysitting. So they want the man, if it's a woman, they want you to raise the baby, make the home, and they'll kill you with stress, with a heart attack, with depression, with alcoholism. A narcissist kills you without touching you. One of them stressed the woman to death and recorded as she took the last poison while he's sitting there and saying, oh, kwani unajua? And she took poison and died. And then he went to cry at the funeral as if he has lost. To make sure he tells the law, I did not kill. Look, she's killing herself. So they exonerate themselves legally, but they kill you. Another woman we hear was hurled from her home, taken to a mental hospital. The moment the narcissist can say you're mentally unstable, you're finished. Eventually, they'll tell people you're mentally unstable. They will anger you, they'll prick you, they'll say things that annoy you. When you begin to react, they record. So they post the reaction to show that they're living with a crazy person. Once the world knows Jagero is mentally unstable, you're finished.
Really?
Yes.
Why do we treat people who are mentally unstable like that?
Because now this person must be handled by their family. You're not mentally unstable, Jagero. It's the woman who triggers you, annoys you, and then records your reaction. You understand? We call it reactive abuse.
Reactive abuse.
When you are when you are being frustrated to the end. Kama ni mwanaume, gota, unajitanga mwanaume, ningoke, mimi ndio huyo. Ukianza kugonga, sasa na record. You get what I'm saying? So, Jagero is so violent, guys, pray for me. look what you did to me. We only see one side of the story. She does that several times until we believe this guy is so violent and helpless, hopeless. We even praying for sister so and so. She's really managing a very difficult guy. They even introduce the term narcissist. They call you narcissist. Most victims were called narcissists first by the narcissist.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. They hear the word from narcissist and then go to Google. They realize who they are reading is the one who called them.
Oh my God.
Yes. They reverse. They do gaslighting. Gaslighting was invented when a man and a woman were seated in a place where they're using gas lights. Those lights that were used, tail lights, those kind of lights. Mm-hmm. And when the woman stepped out, washroom or something like that, the guy would change the lights, lower them or increase them. The woman comes, oh, this light has increased, huh? They say, no, nothing has changed. She's like, oh, maybe I'm seeing. She goes out, comes again. The guy takes it up. Oh, they are brighter now. What is brighter? Are you okay? Do you have loose nuts? Gaslighting was invented by a guy denying reality to confuse the woman. So that's what they do. They change terms. Out here, they told you, me, I'm not going with you to your home. Then on the phone, you tell your mother, my wife said she's not coming. Who? I said, I'm not coming. You see, now you never want me to go to your home. Where did I say? Who had you? I did not say. And she told you here, she's not going with you. What will you tell your mother now? They gaslight in broad daylight until you wonder, am I crazy? That's what I don't try to survive narcissists. You run mad.
But do they read it from somewhere? How do they know all these tactics?
Manipulation is instinctive.
Is that so?
Maturity is not natural. Manipulation is natural. Who teaches children to lumber sugar and hide? Who teaches children to lie to you so they can have more? To play between mommy and daddy to get to the softer side? We are born manipulative. Mature people must outlearn insincerity and dishonesty and become sincere and honest. So those of us who are not narcissists are the ones who did the work of growth. The narcissists didn't do any work of growth. So stop asking how they happened. They happened by not growing. Lying is easier than telling the truth. True or false?
Yes.
When you lie, you avoid the consequences. When you tell the truth, you bite the bullet.
You know what I think?
Yes.
What I think is we must have another episode because we have to go to questions because we have broken the
I
one.
think we'll take two. Yes, two questions. Yes.
Two. No, they are made. We'll get the ones that we can deal with. Cindy.
Yes.
Let me open them and see them.
The ones that can fit in 10 minutes.
The one that can. We will deal with what we can. Benjamin, I've followed your teachings for a while and you've helped me see myself different, but I'm struggling. Does this man really love me or am I just convenient for him? I think she's asking, how do I know that I'm in love?
I would have heard, okay, if I was to talk, I would know about the age, how long she's been with him, and what she's looking for. So men use you when you're comfortable to settle in a relationship. The quickest way for a woman to lose herself in this life is to accept to be a girlfriend. Men want a woman to sleep with, and if it's just being a boyfriend, so be it. I'll become your boyfriend to sleep with you. So women have been hoodwinked into thinking relationships are built up to marriage. No, they are purgatory. To be made wife without being given husband. To be everything taken away from you, including your sacredness and your sacred gardens and your time and your love and your support without anything. So I'll ask her, what do you have between the two of you? Did he come for marriage and did he tell you he's ready for marriage? Are you evaluating him for wife and husband? If that's not what is going on, you're being used.
Yeah.
Also, remind your viewers, Jagero, that you can have a bad relationship with a good person when you set bad terms. So if you negotiate badly, marriage is a settlement. If you negotiate badly, you can end up with a bad settlement. Even when the company was capable of paying well, you negotiated badly. So she could be dealing with a good guy, but she does not make it impossible to be joked with. Make it impossible to be wasted.
Zulu, I respect your honesty so much.
Thank you.
My issue is, why does this man shut down emotionally whenever I try to talk about feelings? What does that mean?
He's avoidant. Avoid people who are avoidant. You're going to have to suck in your feelings, babysit him because he's avoiding your feelings because he can't deal with his own. He's just projecting how he can't deal with his own feelings. A lot of men don't know how to deal with feelings. They never learned. And anytime a young man between the age of 15 to 25 does not deliberately educate himself about his own emotional intelligence, emotional self-control, self-expression, controlling his temper, learning to sit through difficult conversations. He will be a runner. That's a night runner. He always runs into the night anytime you try to bring difficult conversations. So he has not grown to handle feelings. Stop thinking it's a small thing you can help him with. Run. His ego is too sensitive. And if you try to build a family around him, you'll have to manage him. Yes.
Zulu, you always say we should never accept being last on a man's list. So why does it feel like his work, his friends, even football come before me?
Because they do. What are you doing there? The guy has shown you what he prefers in life. His priorities are clear. What about yours? Jagero, these women are selling on credit and they're waiting for the creditor to pay, for the borrower to pay. Ashapeana mwili wake na specialness yake ndio maana ako hapo akiagio. If you date as an interview, you see that you're not a priority, you just walk out. Dating is window shopping, Jagero. You window shop. If it doesn't fit, you move on. Stop paying deposit everywhere.
Dating is window shopping?
Yes. Stop paying deposit everywhere. Yes.
Mr. Benjamin, I have tried to provide and be present, but why does my wife still seem unhappy with me?
Because one reason with women are usually unhappy with you every time is because you are not her first choice. She settled for you when she lacked whom she wanted. She's not unhappy with you because of things you did not do. She's unhappy because of who you are not. You are not her first choice. She wished for someone else. An old couple had an incident where they lost a friend. They were both old and a friend died. A man died. The woman mourned too much for the dead old man. Cried a month ago, crying. Hey, we already married. That guy was old. We are glad. It's okay. But why is you crying? That's the guy I wished to marry. She's angry with you because you're not the one she wished to marry. You cannot please the person who settled for you because they lacked options. If you realize that a woman or your partner is always more angry, triggered at every small thing you do, the foundation is the problem. It's not the details. So stop deceiving yourself with the details. She's unhappy with you because you are not what she wanted. Most likely, yes.
I love this man, but the spark feels like it's fading. How do we keep the fire alive?
You do what you did when you were pursuing each other. You continue pursuing love. People usually, they settle down and they stop doing efforts. They stop doing out. They stop doing dates. So we said, when you meet the one you want to marry, get married, and then don't settle energetically. You start a journey. Have weekly or twice monthly meetings, outings, dates just for the two of you to bond, to discuss how your life is doing, to touch base. Do those little games or pranks or in play or gifts. Keep the friendship alive. Don't assume because you're in love, the love will be an autopilot. Love is like a fire. If you ignore it, it goes cold. Put firewood in it intentionally. People say they're falling out of love because their feelings are beginning to drift to other people, the people you are giving special attention. Also, let me remind you that before you marry a woman, she's in front of you and she's very dressed up. After you marry, she comes to at home where she's not always dressed up, where you are not dealing with her morning breath, where you are not dealing with stomach upsets, where you are not dealing. When you marry, people come into the inside life and the other side of their less attractiveness becomes evident. The only way to compensate for it is to deepen your friendship. Learn to be goofy and playful in any time, even when you're not dressed up. Don't promise people that you'll always be lean and slender or this way. I hear some people, I want you to sign that you always maintain this. If you lose it, no. Don't commit to a body shape. Commit that your soul be clean, that you'll be sincere with them, then we can deal with other things as they come. Pregnancy comes, you deal with it. Midlife crisis comes, gray hair arrives, some hair disappears. Deal with life as it comes. Cultivate friendship. Yes.
Now, thank you very much, Mr. Zulu, for that wonderful conversation that we've had. I've really, really loved it. Now, I want you to tell the audience the books you have and the services that you provide.
I'm a life coach and a counseling psychologist. I have 10 books.
10 books?
Yes, and I sell them in packages. There's a package for healing. There's a package for dating. There's a package for financial self-development. And there's a book for gentlemen called Gentleman's Playbook. And then there's a package for...
Gentleman's Playbook?
Yes. I have a
What is
secret
it
for
about?
how men to win in life and love. I realized we are no longer being taught the keys. We just be taught to be macho, biceps, all this.
That is what we should do. I think that's what we should talk about next.
Yeah, I'll be very happy to discuss it, to tell men how to win silently. I wrote it because if I say it publicly, we'll be stoned. Many of the things are very sensitive. They're true, but women can't allow us to say it. I noticed every time I write an article for men, more comments are from women.
Is that so?
And I asked the gentlemen, what's happening? We cannot have a group discussion.
Yeah.
When I write for women, men, they hold back. When I write for men, women come to contravene. But even men, why is it always? So I told them there's so much noise in this online space. Women have more energy to talk than men. They can talk a lot.
Yeah, I was somewhere yesterday and oh gosh, I felt suffocated.
So
it was so much talking. Even us in podcasts don't talk that much.
Men are lions, and a lion can be chased out of a cage by a chicken if the chicken makes enough noise. So I wrote the book to allow lions to have silent, quiet, harmonious conversations. It's called Gentleman's Playbook. And I wrote it before. I'll write women's book later, but I wanted to tell the men that we have I wanted particularly to speak to men like me who are sincere. Genuine men want to love sincerely and live life honestly.
Yeah.
That's for them. Then I have books for pre-25s, 2 of them, a package for called Young Visionary and Dreams Before Dating. So my books are 10. You can find me on Benjamin Zulu Global on all social media.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. We are going to talk about next week. We'll talk about
The Gentleman.
the gentleman's playbook.
Yes, the Gentleman's Playbook. Yes.
All right. All right, people of the internet, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure having you on my podcast. My name is Diluting Jagero, and we have just crossed the 100,000, Mr. Zulu.
Congratulations.
You know, and it's been a lot of work.
I know.
And you know, my biggest thanks goes to people like you who come on my podcast and pour themselves out, pour into people's cups, my fans' cups. You know, and the fans of mine that come to listen.
I know.
If you want to come and speak on this podcast, we have our website, dialogueswithjagero.com. There's a place there called book. A lot of people are calling me on WhatsApp, and blah, blah, blah. But I want us to know what I'm going to talk about with you so that, you know, we have got a beautiful conversation like the one that we've had right now. If you've not, subscribed to the channel, I request you to subscribe to the channel, hit on that notification bell, because you know why? The reason why we are always asking for people to subscribe is because when YouTube looks at the number, the distribution is wider. All right, so that is why we are asking for that. So thank you very much for listening to this one, and until another episode, bye for now.